John Wayne Gacy, often referred to as the Killer Clown, was one of America's most notorious serial killers. His heinous acts shocked the nation and have left a lasting mark on criminal history. Between 1972 and 1978, Gacy murdered at least 33 young men and boys in Illinois, leaving behind a legacy of horror that continues to captivate the public imagination. Known for his charisma and community involvement, Gacy led a double life that allowed him to commit his crimes undetected for several years. Despite his outward appearance, Gacy's private life was filled with darkness. His ability to manipulate and charm those around him played a significant role in his ability to attract and trap his victims. The crimes he committed were not only acts of violence, but also displays of control and power, as he often subjected his victims to psychological and physical torment before ending their lives. The discovery of his crimes shocked not only his local community, but also the entire nation, leading to widespread media coverage and a lasting public interest in his case. Gacy's story has been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and films, each exploring the complexities and horrors of his actions. The case of John Wayne Gacy remains a critical study in the field of criminal justice, providing valuable insights into the behavior of serial killers and the methods used to bring them to justice. His ability to evade detection for so long has served as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and the need for robust investigative techniques. His early years and background. John Wayne Gacy was born on March 17, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois, to a middle-class family. Growing up, he faced significant adversity due to his father's abusive behavior. Gacy's father, an alcoholic, frequently subjected him and his siblings to both physical and emotional abuse. This harsh upbringing played a considerable role in shaping Gacy's personality and self-worth. Despite the challenges at home, Gacy demonstrated some early promise. He showed leadership skills and was known for his strong work ethic. However, his academic and social experiences were far from smooth. Gacy often found himself at odds with his peers and teachers, facing bullying and social isolation. These early struggles foreshadowed the behavioral issues that would later escalate into criminal activities. During his adolescence, Gacy began to exhibit troubling behaviors. He had frequent run-ins with authority figures and displayed erratic tendencies that hinted at a deeper psychological disturbance. These issues were often dismissed or overlooked, allowing Gacy to continue his life without significant intervention. As he transitioned into adulthood, Gacy sought to mask his inner turmoil by cultivating an outward appearance of normalcy and respectability. Gacy's attempts to integrate into society included active involvement in community activities and local politics. His charm and ability to present himself as a dependable and likable individual masked the darkness that lay beneath the surface. This duality became a significant aspect of his later criminal activities, allowing him to gain the trust of his victims and evade suspicion from those around him. The contrast between Gacy's public persona and his private life created a chilling prelude to the horrific crimes he would eventually commit. Criminal acts and method of operation. Gacy's method of operation was meticulously calculated and horrifying. He often targeted young men and boys, particularly those who were vulnerable or in search of work. Posing as a helpful and trustworthy individual, he would lure them with promises of employment, money, or other incentives. Once he had gained their trust, Gacy would overpower his victims, commonly using handcuffs as restraints. This initial act of restraint was often disguised as a magic trick, further lowering the victim's defenses. Once restrained, the young men and boys were subjected to brutal acts of violence. Gacy employed various methods to inflict pain and control, including physical torture and psychological manipulation. His crimes were marked by a chilling level of premeditation and a desire to exert dominance over his victims. One of the most disturbing aspects of Gacy's crimes was his method of disposing of the bodies. He buried many of his victims in the crawl space beneath his suburban Chicago home. The confined space became a mass grave, housing the remains of numerous young men. This gruesome hiding spot served as a stark reminder of Gacy's ability to compartmentalize his life, maintaining a facade of normalcy while committing horrific acts in secret. Gacy's pattern of targeting individuals who were less likely to be missed, such as runaways and young men with few ties to their community, allowed him to continue his killing spree undetected for several years. His ability to blend into his surroundings and manipulate those around him contributed significantly to his evasion of law enforcement, making his eventual capture all the more shocking. Investigation and capture. The investigation that led to John Wayne Gacy's capture gained momentum in December 1978, when 15-year-old Robert Piest vanished. Piest was last seen leaving his job to meet Gacy about a potential employment opportunity. This disappearance drew the attention of law enforcement, who started to see a pattern linking Gacy to other missing young men. Detectives began to delve deeper into Gacy's background and activities. They conducted interviews and gathered evidence, leading to an initial search warrant for Gacy's home. During this search, they found items that hinted at a connection to several missing persons cases. As suspicions mounted, authorities obtained a second search warrant. This time, they made the grisly discovery of human remains in the crawl space beneath Gacy's house. The stench and the sight of decomposing bodies confirmed their worst fears. The crawl space was excavated, revealing the remains of numerous victims, all buried by Gacy in an attempt to conceal his crimes. Investigators also uncovered additional bodies disposed of in other locations, providing a clearer picture of the scope of Gacy's atrocities. Court proceedings and verdict. John Wayne Gacy's trial began in February 1980 and quickly attracted significant media attention. The prosecution laid out a compelling case, presenting overwhelming evidence that included personal items of victims found in Gacy's home and harrowing testimonies from those who had survived his attacks. The sheer volume of evidence painted a chilling picture of Gacy's actions. The defense team, in an effort to avoid the death penalty, argued that Gacy was insane and unable to control his actions. They brought in expert witnesses to testify about his mental state, hoping to sway the jury towards a verdict of not guilty by reason of insanity. However, the prosecution countered with their own experts, who argued that Gacy was fully aware of his actions and meticulously planned his crimes. Influence and lasting impact. John Wayne Gacy's case profoundly affected both public awareness and law enforcement practices concerning serial killers. His dual existence as a community figure and a murderer highlighted the need for better recognition of warning signs and red flags in potential predators. The disturbing nature of his crimes spurred advancements in profiling techniques and investigative methods, emphasizing the importance of thorough background checks. In popular culture, the Gacy case has been extensively examined through books, documentaries, and films, keeping the story alive in public memory. These retellings aim to educate and remind society of the importance of vigilance and the need to bring perpetrators to justice. Gacy's case serves as a sobering example of the depths of human depravity and the critical role of effective law enforcement in preventing similar tragedies. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more historical breakdowns. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think is the most important lesson we should remember from John Wayne Gacy? Until next time, stay curious, stay informed.